Okay, look at the calendar. It is January 2026. Do you realize what that means? It means Justin and Claire have been married for exactly 5 years. In any other family, 5 years of marriage is just normal. But in my family, in the Duggar dynasty, 5 years without a baby announcement isn't just rare, it is an emergency. It is a siren blaring that something is wrong. We have seen the rumors. Are they divorced? Did Justin leave the cult? Is Claire hiding a secret life? For 2 years, they have been ghosts. No Instagram posts, no YouTube updates, just silence. And I know my Uncle Jim Bob, silence terrifies him because silence means he has lost control. I've been digging. I've been looking at the photos you guys missed. I've been looking at the property records in Texas. And what I found isn't just a story about a couple who wants privacy. It is a story about a couple who might be breaking the biggest rule in the IBLP handbook. Are we witnessing the very first Duggar divorce? Or is this the most heartbreaking infertility battle the family has ever hidden? Grab your tea because we are going to Texas and we are finding out where Justin Duggar really is. All right, let's start with the math. Because in the Duggar world, math isn't just numbers, it's theology, it's duty. Justin and Claire got married in February 2021. I remember it. Justin was barely an adult, 19 years old. Claire was barely out of high school. It was the classic Duggar playbook meet, court for 5 minutes, get married, and start the baby factory. Usually you can set a watch by it. Wedding in February, pregnancy announcement by June, gender reveal by September, baby by the first anniversary. We have seen it with Jill, Jessa, Joy, Joe, Josiah, literally everyone. But here we are. It is January 26th. 5 years, 60 months. And do you know how many babies Justin and Claire have announced? 0. Now, in the real world, the world you and I live in, a young couple waiting 5 years to have kids is smart. It's normal. You travel, you get to know each other. Maybe you just want to sleep in on Saturdays. But you have to understand the pressure cooker these kids grew up in. They were taught from birth that their only purpose on this earth is to multiply. Arrows in the quiver, right? That's what Uncle Jim Bob drilled into their heads. For a Duggar son to go 5 years without presenting a grandchild to the patriarch, that isn't just a lifestyle choice. That is a glitch in the matrix. And the silence makes it louder. If they were posting travel vlogs saying, hey, we're just enjoying life, that would be one thing. But they have gone dark. Their Instagrams are ghost towns. The last time we saw a genuine, candid photo of them together was when? 2024? This tells me one of two things is happening. Either they are rebelling against the entire belief system they were raised in, using birth control, living a worldly life, or there is a tragedy happening behind clothes that they are terrified to share. Because in this cult, if you aren't blessed with a baby, people start whispering that you must have sin in your life, that God is withholding his blessing. Can you imagine carrying that weight for 5 years? Let's talk about the geography of this situation because location is everything. Most of the Duggar kids stay in Arkansas. They stay within the radius. If you live near the big house, Jim Bob can control you. He can pop in. He can check your fridge. He can offer you a used car lot to manage if you follow his rules. Justin ran. He didn't just move, he moved states. He went to Texas. And he didn't just go to Texas for a job. He went to Texas to be absorbed into Claire's family. We need to talk about the Spiveys. Hillary Spivey, Claire's mom, you guys remember her? She was all over the internet when they first got together. She was posting photos of Justin constantly. People joked that she loved Justin more than Claire did. But here is my theory: Justin was a lost boy in the Duggar house. He was child number, what, 14? 15. He got lost in the shuffle. He didn't get the attention. He didn't get the nurturing. Then he meets the Spivies, and suddenly he has a mother figure who is obsessed with him. He has a family that actually looks at him. I think Justin didn't marry Claire just for love. I think he married her to get adopted. He wanted a new family. He wanted a new dad. He wanted out of the Town circus. Moving to Texas was his declaration of independence. But here is the twist: did he just trade one cult for another? The Spivies are just as religious, just as conservative, and now even Hillary Spivey has gone quiet. The woman who used to post daily updates about her boy Justin hasn't posted him in months. Why? Did the relationship between the families sour? Did Justin and Claire move out of the Spivey orbit? Or is Hillary protecting a secret that would ruin the family reputation if it got out? Okay, I'm going to say the word that makes every fundamentalist shudder: divorce. It's the ultimate taboo. In the IBLP, you don't divorce, you stay, you suffer, you pray. Look at Josh and Anna. If Anna didn't leave Josh after everything he did, the bar is set incredibly high, but Justin is different. Justin is young, and Justin is disconnected from the Arkansas support system. Why do people think they are divorced? Let's look at the clues the internet sleuths have gathered. First, the ring. In the few blurry photos we've seen of Justin at construction sites or family gatherings in late 2025, his left hand is conveniently hidden, or in one shot, it looked bare. Now, maybe he takes it off for work. He works with his hands, that's valid. But what about Claire? She hasn't been seen at a Duggar family event in Arkansas for almost 2 years. She wasn't at the Christmas party. She wasn't at the last wedding. Justin came alone to one event, stood in the back, and left early. When a Duggar husband shows up without his wife, alarms should be ringing. These couples are attached at the hip. They do everything together. If they are separated, they are likely living a lie right now. They can't announce it. If they announce a divorce, they lose everything. They lose the community. They lose the financial support. They become pariahs. I have a gut feeling that they might be separated under the same roof, living like roommates, sleeping in different rooms, putting on a smile for Sunday church, but barely speaking on Monday morning. It happens more than you think in these circles. They call it waiting on the Lord, but really, it's just a slow, painful death of a marriage that started when they were teenagers. Now, let's flip the coin. What if they are madly in love? What if they are desperate to be the perfect Duggar couple? Then we have to talk about infertility. I cannot stress enough how cruel this culture is to women who cannot conceive. Your worth is tied to your womb. If you aren't producing, you feel like a failure, you feel broken. We saw Michaela Bates, Essie from the Bates family, go through this publicly. She cried on TV about her empty arms. It was gut-wrenching, but Claire isn't on TV. She doesn't have a platform to share her pain. If they have been trying for 5 years, that is 60 cycles of hope and disappointment, 60 negative pregnancy tests. And every time they open Instagram, boom, Jana is having a baby. Jessa is having her 8th. Joe and Kendra are on number whatever. It must be suffocating. If this is the reason for their silence, I feel for them deeply. Maybe they left social media because it hurt too much to see everyone else's highlight reel. Maybe they got tired of the comments asking, or is that a baby bump? I remember seeing a photo of Claire from 2024 where she looked tired. Her eyes were puffy. She wasn't wearing makeup. She looked like a woman who had been crying. At the time, people said, oh, she looks frumpy. No, you guys, she looked like she was grieving. If they are struggling with infertility, the Spivies and the Duggars might be pressuring them to pray harder, instead of getting medical help. We know Jim Bob is skeptical of modern medicine. Are they being denied IVF because of religious reasons? Are they stuck in a medical limbo because their cult tells them that science is playing God? To understand where Justin is now, we have to look at who he was then. Justin was the kid with the thumbs up. You know the meme. He would just stand there, smile, and give two thumbs up. It was cute, but it was also a mask. He was in the middle of a pack of boys. Jason, James, Justin, Jackson. They were treated like a herd. They wore the same clothes, shared the same dormitory, did the same chores. I always felt like Justin was the sensitive one. He was the one who seemed a little more fragile than the others. When he met Claire, he latched on hard. He walked down the aisle with tears streaming down his face. Do you remember that? He was sobbing. At the time, we thought, oh, he loves her so much. But looking back, was he crying because he was happy, or was he crying because he was overwhelmed? He was 19. He had never lived alone. He had never paid a bill. He had never dated anyone else. And suddenly, he is a husband. He is the head of a household. He is expected to provide. That is a recipe for a breakdown. I think the Justin we see now, or rather, the Justin we don't see, is a young man who woke up one day and realized, wait, I don't know who I am. He went from being Jim Bob's son to Hillary Spivey's son in law to Claire's husband. He never had a moment to just be Justin. If he is having an identity crisis, that would explain the disappearance. You can't post selfies when you don't recognize the person in the mirror. He might be deconstructing his faith. He might be questioning everything. And in that process, the first thing to go is the public persona. He shed the skin of TV star Justin because he couldn't fake the thumbs up anymore. So, how are they paying the bills? Because in this economy, you can't live on a blessings alone. We know Justin grew up in the school of Jim Bob, which means he learned two things: how to flip a house and how to sell a used car. That's the Duggar Vocational School. You get a GED and a real estate license and you're set. When he moved to Texas, he started working for the Spivey family construction business. And honestly, that was a smart move. It gave him a skill. It gave him a paycheck that didn't have Jim Bob Duggar signed at the bottom. But rumors are circulating that Justin has branched out on his own, and not in a small way. I'm hearing whispers about high and flips. We're talking about buying teardowns in Fort Worth and turning them into luxury modern farmhouses. If Justin is actually making real money, like independent six-figure money, that changes the power dynamic completely. See, Jim Bob controls his kids with the purse strings. You want a house? I'll buy it, but you follow my rules. You want a car? Pick one from the lot, but you come to church on Sunday. If Justin is self-made at 24, he doesn't need the handout. He doesn't need to kiss the ring, but there is a flip side. Construction is stressful. The market crashes. Interest rates go up. If they are under financial pressure, that kills the romance faster than anything. Is he working 80 hours a week to prove he's a man to his father-in-law? Is Claire sitting at home alone while he pours concrete until midnight? Success has a price, and I wonder if their marriage is paying it. We cannot talk about Justin and Claire without talking about the third wheel in the marriage, Hillary Spivey. I love a supportive mom. I do. But Hillary was intense. Do you guys remember the comments? My new son, love you both so much. She was posting photos of Justin more than her own kids. It felt like she adopted a pet Duggar. But check her feed now. Go ahead, I'll wait. It's quiet. Too quiet. There hasn't been just an appreciation post in ages, no selfies of them getting coffee, no family vacation pics. This screams boundary to me. I have a feeling something happened. Maybe Justin finally snapped. Maybe he said, Hillary, I love you, but stop posting my location. Stop treating me like a trophy. Or maybe, and this is the sadder option, maybe Claire and Justin pulled away from everyone. If they are struggling with infertility or marital issues, the last thing you want is a camera in your face, even if it's your mom holding it. If Hillary has been silenced, that means the situation is serious because that woman loves the spotlight almost as much as Jim Bob does. If she isn't posting, it's because she has been explicitly told to stop. And who has the power to tell Hillary Spivey to stop? Only Justin. That shows a backbone I didn't know he had. Oh, here is a theory that gives me hope, even if it scandalizes the fam. What if they aren't divorced? What if they aren't miserable? What if they are just normal? I'm talking about the M word that Jim Bob fears most: normalcy, living in Texas away from the Tonatown compound. Justin is seeing how the other half live. He's seeing people who wear shorts, people who watch Marvel movies, people who gasp, have a glass of wine with dinner. We saw Jinger do it. We saw Jill do it. It's the natural progression of escaping the IBLP. Maybe the reason they are hiding is because they don't want to deal with the backlash. Imagine if Justin posted a photo holding a beer, or Claire posted a photo in a tank top. The internet would explode. The family group chat would be on fire. Michelle would be sending prayer emojis. They might be living a totally secular, chill life in Texas, and they know that the second they share it, the peace is over. So they stay offline. They live their life. They go to the movies on Friday night. They sleep in on Sunday, and they let the world think they are missing. Honestly, that is the ultimate power move. If they are protecting their peace by ghosting the world, I actually applaud them. But knowing my family, guilt usually creeps in. You can wear the jeans, but can you turn off the voice in your head that says you're going to hell for it? Let's get psychological for a minute. Imagine being Justin. You open Instagram. There's Jed with his second set of twins. There's Jeremiah with another baby. There's Jason getting married. The Duggar boys are in a competition. They won't admit it, but they are. It's a virility contest. Who has the most kids? Who has the biggest house? Who is the godliest? Justin is losing that race. By Duggar standards, he is failing. And for a guy raised in a cult that prizes masculinity and fatherhood above all else, that has to eat away at his ego. He's the youngest groom, but he's lagging behind his older brothers. I wonder if he avoids family gatherings not because he hates them, but because he can't stand the pity. You know the look, the tilt of the head. How are y'all doing? Any news? It's humiliating. And for Claire, it's worse. The Duggar sisters-in-law are a clique. They bond over diaper bags and homeschooling. If you don't have a kid, You don't have a seat at the table. You're sitting with the little girls at the kids' table. I think the distance is a defense mechanism. They can't compete, so they remove themselves from the game. It's sad, but it's survival. If you can't win, you stop playing. Okay, let's talk about the hush money. Because wherever there is a Duggar mystery, there is usually a contract involved. We know Jim Bob loves an NDA, it's a non disclosure agreement. He tried to make the kids sign them to get their inheritance. What if Justin and Claire wanted to leave? Like, leave, write a book, do a tell all interview, expose the IBLP. And what if Jim Bob swept in and said, I will give you 100,000 to start your business in Texas, but you have to sign this? You can never talk about the abuse. You can never talk about Josh. You can never talk about the show. And maybe part of that deal was stay off social media. Think about it. The less they post, the less the tabloids write about them. The less the tabloids write, the less likely a scandal pops up. If Jim Bob paid them to disappear, it explains everything. It explains the silence. It explains the money for the house flip. It explains why they are ghosts. They sold their voice for freedom. And honestly, I don't blame them. If I could take a check to get away from that toxic circus and never look back, I might do it too. But the cost is high because now people think the worst. They think divorce, they think tragedy, when the reality might just be a business transaction. We have to address the elephant in the state of Texas. Josh. When Justin first moved to Texas, everyone thought it was for Claire. But look at the map. Where did they settle? Convenience wise, they were suspiciously close to Sagaville, the prison where Josh is serving his time. There was a theory back then, and it makes me sick to think about that Jim Bob deployed Justin to Texas to be the boots on the ground for Josh, to help Anna, to visit Josh, to be the dutiful brother. But here is where the plot thickens. Prison logs are public. Visitors are logged. And from what I've heard, Justin isn't visiting. This is huge. If Jim Bob sent him there to be Josh's keeper and Justin is refusing to go, that is a direct act of war against the family patriarch. Imagine being 20 years old, newly married, trying to start your life, and your dad expects you to spend your weekends visiting your predator brother in federal prison. I think Justin drew a line in the sand. I think he said, I will live in Texas, but I will not be part of the Josh Redemption tour. If this caused a rift, it explains why he is estranged from the family. Jim Bob demands loyalty above all else. If Justin isn't supporting Josh, in Jim Bob's eyes, Justin is a traitor. And traitors get cut off. Since they stopped posting, only way we know they are alive is through the wild sightings. You know how it goes. Someone is at a Costco in Fort Worth. They spot a Duggar. They sneak a blurry photo, and it ends up on Reddit within 5 minutes. I've analyzed these photos. And guys, the vibes are off. There was one photo from a few months ago. Justin was pushing a cart. He looked older. Not just I grew a beard older, he looked heavy. His shoulders were slumped. He wasn't smiling. And Claire, in the photos where she is spotted, she is usually clinging to him or walking 3 steps behind. There is no honeymoon glow. There is no young love energy. They look like a couple in their 40s who are just trying to get through the grocery trip without fighting. Body language doesn't lie. In the post Instagram photos from 2021, they were touching, smiling, posing. In these candid shots, there is distance, physical distance, emotional distance. It breaks my heart because Justin used to be the kid with the spark. Seeing him look like a tired, middle aged man at 23. It shows you what this lifestyle does to people. It drains the life out of you before you even really start living. We talked about Hillary, but we need to talk about the Spivey family culture. A lot of people think, oh, Justin escaped the IBLP. He's free, but is he? The Spiveys are deeply, deeply religious. They are just as fundamentalist as the Duggars, just with better hair and trendier clothes. They still believe in the submissive wife. They still believe in the patriarchal order. I have a theory that Justin didn't escape a cult. He just swapped cults. He went from Jim Bob's high control group to the Spivey's high control group. He works for her dad. He lives near her mom. He goes to their church. He might feel even more trapped now, at least in the Duggar house. He had 18 siblings to hide behind. In the Spivey world, all eyes are on him. He is the Duggar prize they won. If he is unhappy, he can't leave. If he leaves Claire, he loses his job lot construction. He loses his house owned by family. And he loses his only support system in Texas. He is totally dependent on them. That isn't freedom, you guys. That's captivity with a nicer filter. The biggest red flag of all was this past Christmas. December 2025, the Duggars had their big house gathering. We saw the photos. Jinger flew in. Jill was there. It was a miracle reunion. But guess who was missing? Justin and Claire. Now, missing a random Tuesday dinner is one thing. Missing the grand reunion where even the estranged sisters showed up. That is a statement. If Justin couldn't be bothered to fly or drive home for that, the bridge is burned. And it goes both ways. Did Jim Bob invite them? Or were they uninvited? There is a rumor that things got heated between Justin and Jim Bob over money or over the show rumors. If Justin refused to sign a release form for a future project, Jim Bob might have said, fine, then don't come to Christmas. Or maybe Justin just didn't want to go. Maybe he saw the group chat blowing up about the party and thought, I cannot pretend for one more second. Whatever the reason, his absence was the loudest thing in the room. When the black sheep sisters, Jill and Jinger, are there, and a golden boy, Justin, isn't, the dynamics have completely flipped. I've been trying to pinpoint the exact moment they went dark. It was mid-2024. What happened in 2024? That was when the Shiny Happy People documentary fallout was really settling in. That was when Jill's book was making waves. That was when the IBLP was being exposed on a global scale. I think Justin saw it. I think he watched the documentary. Imagine being him. You grew up thinking your life was normal. Then you turn on Amazon Prime and see a documentary calling your childhood a cult. You see your sister Jill talking about how she was manipulated. I think it broke him. I think 2024 was the year Justin realized my entire life was a lie. And when you have that realization, you retreat, you pull back. You stop posting happy family pics because you realize the family wasn't happy. Claire likely stood by him, but she's loyal to the system. This could have caused major friction. Justin waking up and Claire trying to keep him asleep. The silence since 2024 isn't just laziness. It's the sound of a man deconstructing his entire reality in real time. And that is not something you share on Instagram stories. So, if they aren't legally divorced yet, what are they? I have seen this happen in fundamentalist circles a dozen times. You get married too young, you realize you are incompatible, but you can't leave because Jesus is watching, and more importantly, your dad is watching. So you become roommates. I have a strong suspicion this is where Justin and Claire are living right now. The passion, gone. The honeymoon phase, dead. They are likely coexisting in that nice house in Texas, sleeping in separate bedrooms and living separate lives. Justin goes to work. Claire goes to her mom's. They meet in the kitchen for dinner, make small talk about the weather, and go to bed. It's a gray divorce. You are married on paper, but emotionally, you checked out years ago. This would explain why there are no babies. If there is no intimacy, there are no children. And in the IBLP, denying your husband intimacy is considered a sin unless both parties just stop caring. If this is their reality, it is almost sadder than a divorce. It means they are wasting their 20s pretending to be something they aren't. They are trapped in a cage of their own making, holding onto a key they are too afraid to turn. Let's play a game of what if. What if Justin is writing a book? Jill did it, Jinger did it, and guess what? They made money. They found freedom. They told their truth. Justin has a story that none of the girls have. He has the story of the lost boy. He has the story of being the son who was forgotten in the middle of the pack. He has the story of being shipped off to Texas at 18. If I were Justin and I needed cash, and I mean real cash, not construction wages, I would be taking meetings with publishers right now. The silence might be the calm before the storm. Authors go quiet when they are writing. They scrub their social media to prepare for a rebrand. If Justin drops a memoir titled The Boy Who Ran, it would destroy Jim Bob. Because Justin knows where the bodies are buried. He knows about the warehouse. He knows about the finances. He knows what really happened when the cameras turned off. I'm not saying he is writing one, but the fear that he might be is probably keeping Jim Bob up at night. And honestly, I hope he does. I hope he burns it all down. You might be asking, Amy, why doesn't someone just check on them? Why doesn't Jessa or Joy just drive to Texas? Because in this family, we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about the problems. Denial is the love language of the Duggars. If you ignore it, it isn't happening. If Justin is depressed, ignore it. If the marriage is failing, pray it away. Checking on them would require admitting that something is wrong. And admitting something is wrong breaks the illusion of perfection. So everyone stays in their lane. Jessa posts her kids. Joy posts her homestead. And Justin stays in the dark. It is a cult of silence. It is designed to isolate you. If you are struggling, you struggle alone. Because if you reach out for help, you are admitting that the IBLP way doesn't work. And that is the one thing you are never, ever allowed to do. Justin is isolated in Texas, and I fear that silence is slowly crushing him. But until he reaches out, the family will keep posting their smiling selfies and pretending he doesn't exist. Okay, it's time for the verdict. After looking at the timeline, the photos, the geography, and the silence, here is what I think is really happening. I do not think they are legally divorced. Not yet. The cost is too high, but I do think they are done. I think Justin and Claire are separated in spirit. I think they are living a lie to protect their family's reputations. I think they are waiting for what? Maybe waiting for Jim Bob to pass away. Maybe waiting for the media interest to die down completely so they can split quietly without a headline. Maybe waiting for the courage to finally say enough, but the vanishing isn't a mystery. It's a strategy. They are hiding because they have nothing happy to show us. And in an influencer family, if you can't be happy, you have to be invisible. My heart breaks for them. They were just kids. They were pawns in a game they didn't understand. And now, 5 years later, they are looking at each other across a dinner table wondering, who are you? So, Justin, if you are watching this, and I know you have YouTube in Texas, I just want to say this. It is okay to walk away. It is okay to admit it didn't work. It is okay to be 24 and divorced. You have your whole life ahead of you. You don't have to be a martyr for a TV show that was canceled 5 years ago. And to you guys, the viewers, thank you for caring. Thank you for asking the questions the family won't answer. Keep watching. Keep digging. Because the truth always comes out eventually. It might take 5 years. It might take 10, but the cracks are showing. If you think Justin and Claire are secretly divorced, leave a in the comments. If you think they are just private, leave a, I want to see what you guys think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because if Justin does announce a split, you know I will be the first one to break it down. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and stop letting your parents pick your spouse. Bye, y'all!